when thinking about Web3 content, the hardest part about this is how do you communicate all the cool things that are happening in the space? And I don't think I need to go into what's cool in the space. There's so many different angles you can take from metaverse, NFTs, DeFi. How do I take all these cool things and communicate them as clear as possible to the point that a 5-year-old could get it? That is so hard.
Very.
That is so hard.
It's a huge technical hurdle.
It is. It is. And telling the stories in the space and whatnot, and just like, as again, just go through empathy. Like, what do people want to hear? On one end of the spectrum, you want to hear people saying, oh, hey, this coin you own is going to go to the moon, therefore making you rich. But that stuff's pretty shallow.
Yeah.
There's also like the whiteboard crypto stuff of just like educating stuff as simple as possible.
Yeah.
It's also difficult. And then there's just like the narrative stuff, which I feel like is doing the best right now. I feel like this stuff focused on narrative and what chains are doing and how they're competing with each other. I feel like that's the content that's doing the best in the bear market. So that's what I think about all the time.
Yeah, that's interesting. So let's dig a little bit deeper into that. What are you focused on at Avalanche in order to facilitate the fun, simplistic kind of viewpoint and build a consistent narrative over time?
Yeah, 100%. So there's a few pillars that we're playing around with. One of them is, so this is more corporate. I'll start with the corporate run and then end with the fun stuff. So the more corporate run is obviously we're trying to make our leaders as prominent and possible or popular as possible. So that means Emin Gunsir, our founder, and then John Woo, our president. We have a whole PR team training them to go on to CNBC, Bloomberg, and kind of like have them explain these concepts in a great way that 5-year-olds can understand it. So whenever they go out to all those things, I clip the hell out of those segments. I clip the absolute hell out of those segments, and those seem to do well. People like seeing some rich looking dude on TV that they may or may not know say exciting things about the future. It's as simple as that. Those videos seem to do well. I really enjoy those. And also with those, one thing that I've been playing around with is captions. So that's something I think I would recommend. I think that could really leverage your clips online, is if you put captions on them. Just because I feel like just a small percentage of people go through all these social medias. They're probably on the bus, they're in the car, they're just in between things. They don't always have headphones. So having good, clear, concise captions that not only give the information, highlight the key words, but also kind of like communicate the pacing of what people are talking about, that can really leverage your videos. So just something I would think about, just some value. And then going to the more fun stuff. The one videos that I love doing that seem to do well on TikTok is gaming videos. So right now we have so many gaming partnerships coming up, almost too many for me to even be able to keep up with. But making videos on games, just you don't really have to put much work into it. You just say, hey, this is the game. Here's the cool features. Here's the things you can do with it. People just like to see that. So gaming does really valuable. Gaming super valuable. And just getting better at my storytelling and how do I pace those videos and how do I add the hook. That's been a challenge. And then other than that, I've just been experimenting with different formats pretty constantly. So as I said, although go back to the hill climbing algorithm, although I have a few pillars of videos that I know do well, I'm constantly doing those random restarts and saying, oh, hey, here's a random idea. I don't know if it's good. It's probably going to suck. I'm going to put 10, 20 hours into it, make it the best I can do, put it out there, see if it does well. Most of the time it doesn't, but sometimes it does well, and that kind of adds another pillar of different content I can make.
I like that a lot. It's kind of the iterative approach, right? Where you are going in, you're kind of moving fast and breaking things. You're going in, you're trying a
Hmm.
thing, it doesn't work, you move on, but you try it enough to get some sort of meaningful data as to
Some.
whether you feel like, we're not talking, like you said, 10 to 20 hours of your time. That's not making one video. That's not making 3 videos. That's probably making 10 to 20 videos, right? And
Yeah.
seeing if any of those start to pick up steam, and then moving on. I get countless suggestions on content, on ways that, um, I could just make this more entertaining, right? Not in this conversation. This conversation is about uncovering insights, and it's
Hmm.
made for people that enjoy long form content and want to learn best practices. But in terms of building out the brand, having things like, 5 minutes with a random person to ask you whatever they want to ask you about Web3. That might be interesting, right? Like, ask away. It's
Yeah.
an AMA, right? But yeah, that is pretty awesome.